a one-possession game, pretty deep into the fourth quarter, and they win by 11. I'm going to ignore that and focus on Mississippi State's struggles and take Auburn. And just lastly, I'll point out this is how bad Mississippi State's offense has been the last two games. They've only scored 13 total points. They only had 202 yards of offense versus Florida, 201 versus Kentucky. And in those 8 quarters with that little production, they only turned the ball over once. So it's not like they were just, giving the ball away, and that was responsible for these low offensive numbers. They've pretty much played turnover-free football, only one turnover in 8 quarters, but yet have been abysmal on that side. And when you're struggling with confidence in a new offensive philosophy, Auburn's D-line is not what you want to see coming into town. So I'll go with Auburn.
I'm glad you said that because I gave out Auburn a little bit ago on the podcast versus Mississippi State here. I don't understand why Nick Fitzgerald is quarterbacking here. He's not a fit for a Moorhead type offense, right? K'Tion Thompson did just fine when he played, right? And
yeah,
I'm very confused by that because he's a Mullen type offense, Tebow type, that, and I think that it was a huge miss. Great point on what they've been scoring lately. It's just been absolutely pathetic. I was high on Mississippi State. Everyone was high on Mississippi State, but you can't fault them for that. Now the fact that Auburn can't afford another letdown, right? Losing that field goal to LSU makes me like this Auburn bet a heck of a lot more. I think there's some serious problems, just like you said, in Mississippi. So completely agree with you, my man, on that one. So do you have any other games, or would you like to just jump into UFC 229?
Before we get to that, I'll throw out a couple of thoughts. Vegas Insider, we've had some issues with, customers, buying picks on Saturday and the lines being so different compared to what, we might have been putting them in on Monday or Tuesday. And so VI has changed when you can put in picks. So I haven't been able to post them yet. So I'm kind of, not committed to hardly any of them yet. But I can tell you some leans. I'm leaning Stanford in bounce back mode. -5 against Utah, and I really don't care if Bryce Love plays or not for 2 reasons. First, Cam Scarlett and Trevor Spates are pretty good backups. And secondly, man, I am so tired of David Shaw and his just established the run at all costs. I mean, his first down play calling, and I know it's his O coordinator, but I know he's in the O coordinator's ear. And, it's like they're in love with 2nd and 12. I mean, they just give it to Love. It doesn't matter if they've got 9 people in the box. So I'm almost of the thought process, because I've been saying this for weeks. Let the pass game open up the run. Go to your Caden Smith, the best tight end in the country. Costello has played well this year. Go to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside early and often. He's one of the top 5 receivers in America. I don't get it. Open up this offense. I know Utah's got a good D, but they're terrible on offense. They only scored 17 at Northern Illinois, and that was really just scoring 10 because they had a pick 6 late in the fourth quarter to put that one on ice. And their other 2 games against FBS competition, only 7 and 24 points scored. So I lean Stanford -5. And I don't even know if there's been line movement on the Hawaii game, but if it's 4 or fewer, I lean Hawaii. I know they played 5 overtimes last week, and that's a bit of a red flag, but Hawaii's 5-1 at home, laying a short number. I'm kind of looking at Illinois, which sounds crazy. They're not a good football team, laying points on the road, but man, Rutgers is so bad. And there's another one that I had. I'm shooting blanks. If it comes back to me, I'll bring it up though.
All right, my man. No, Illinois Rutgers, that's definitely the worst of the Big Ten. It's that line moved up in Illinois' favor. That's just how bad Rutgers was. I had a podcast about 2 weeks ago congratulating Illinois for not being the worst team in the Big Ten anymore. My feelings about Stanford's kind of the same for how I see Wisconsin. You sit there and run the ball the first 3 games. Don't even let Hornibrook work on his passing, and the time that they needed to pass against that BYU team, they couldn't do it because there's not used to it. They're way better last year when they actually had to throw the ball a little bit. So I was very frustrated on the box being stacked against Taylor. So it seems very Stanford-esque, but I'm definitely looking forward to a possible boat race here against Nebraska. So
can I throw out one more?
Of course.
Alabama, the way to bet them, and I've mentioned it in some columns, but the way Tua is going out early, they've gotten backdoored the last 2 weeks, and I got on this a little late. I didn't get on it till the Ole Miss game. But the way to bet this team is in the first quarter and the first half before Tua goes out and they're up huge. And I'm not putting it all on Jalen Hurts because the offensive philosophy changes when you're up 40 and change. But not only betting them in the first quarter and first half, and you might have had a hard time getting a first quarter line last week against Lafayette, I believe it was.
The Raging Cajuns.
Yeah, it was them. Okay, that's right. And team totals over. Their team totals over are perfect this year. And I'm not just talking about the game and the 5 games they've played. I'm talking about team total over in the first quarter and the first half and the game. I mean, that's 3 picks a game times 5. That's 15. Betting on them in the first quarter and the first half is also unbeaten. There's one push when they were -7 against A&M in the first quarter and we're only up 14-7 and actually had to get a touchdown kind of late. I was kind of freaking out. That was a big push for me that I needed. But, betting Alabama's team totals over first quarter, first half in game, and betting them first quarter, first half has been a recipe for success. Now that I point that out, it'll probably no, it's not going to lose at Arkansas. I'll take that back. But just wanted to point that out.
No, thank you very much. I unfortunately was late to that myself. First quarter and first half, Tua has just been killing it. They're 5-0 against the spread in the first half. I didn't do any totals there, but that's an amazing way to bet Alabama here. And now they're playing Arkansas here, and we've seen Arkansas in action enough. So I think this is
they had another player quit the team today, man. I mean, that situation is ugly. I mean, we thought Moorhead had issues. No, Chad Morris has much bigger issues going on in Fayetteville.
Yeah, Brett Bielema didn't exactly set that team up for success for the next coach, did he? So that's
no, he didn't.
That's interesting. All right, we got about 4 to 5 minutes real quick here. Let's touch on the UFC 229, such a huge, highly anticipated fight and main event with Khabib versus Conor McGregor. I think McGregor's a dog here, plus 140. Do you have any thoughts on this matchup?
I do. If you like Khabib, patience, my friends, patience. And I'm not saying it's smart money. I'm not saying it's public or sharp. Actually, it is public. But when the Ireland fans get to Vegas, not only are they all going to be betting on Conor, they're going to be bringing money from their aunt, uncle, grandfather, cousin, fourth cousin too. The odds will go down. You will get a much better price on Khabib late Friday and all day Saturday on the fight day. I mean, it's hard to predict the way lines move, but I think I can predict this one with about 95% confidence. So, and here's the deal on this one. Khabib has better cardio. He has an enormous advantage in wrestling and grappling. Conor, however, has an enormous advantage standing. And if he can catch him early, like he caught Aldo, like he caught many other opponents, now nobody's ever knocked Khabib down. I mean, he's undefeated. He hasn't been knocked out. Now, Michael Johnson buckled him pretty good a couple times, and Iaquinta popped him a couple of good times, but I think that Khabib will withstand the stand-up game of Conor, get it to the ground, and once he does, or once we get, mid-second round, and he's got Conor on the ground, it's going to be a long night at the office for McGregor, I believe. Now, I do give McGregor certainly a decent chance of knocking him out early. But my pick is Khabib, but I'm not. You don't go against McGregor laying a big chalk number. And I would even say, don't take it with an aggressive amount unless it gets to minus 120 or lower. But I mean, I'm not sure it won't get all the way to even money on Saturday. And sorry for hogging the mic here, but if you want me to throw out a few other thoughts, and I'm just looking at my notes. Okay, cool. Derek Lewis, the Black Beast. What are his odds now? He was plus 155. Why am I not seeing it? I'm not. Oh, there it is. Yeah, plus 150. We're plus 165 at 5 dimes. Derek Lewis is 8-1 in his last 9 fights. 4 of those wins came in the underdog role. Now Alexander Volkov, back-to-back knockouts against Fabricio Verdum and Stefan Struve, but Verdum and Struve have seen better days than their last year or two. He is 4-0 in the UFC. Now, you always worry about Derek Lewis's back problems because he has a back that flares up on him all the time. But if his back's right, I really like his chances here. And his back has been bothering him the last couple of fights. He's talked about it in justifying what he was not satisfied with his performances, even though he got the victory. And then you look at Pettis and Ferguson in the co-main. I like under 2.5 rounds. Should be a small plus. And Ferguson's won 10 in a row, 7 finishes. If you can get him to win inside the distance at plus money, I'm cool with that as well. And Dominic Reyes and OSP over at St. Preux used to play football for Tennessee. That's a good light heavyweight matchup. I give OSP a pretty good shot of winning, and he's a pretty healthy underdog, plus 190-ish at most spots. Now, Reyes is 9-0, and 8 of his 9 wins are by first-round finish. So if you can get a prop bet for the fight to end in round 1, I would like that. And I only say that before under 1.5 rounds because they've got a pretty chalky, minus 160 to 170 number on under 1.5, which I do like, but I don't like laying chalk prices like that. So those are my thoughts on UFC 229, and don't wait till Saturday to watch, folks. I mean, we'll have a stare down tomorrow that'll be complete theatrics and fireworks from McGregor, and the weigh-ins will be absolutely insane. So it's pure fun coming up with this card starting tomorrow afternoon.
No, man, that sounds excellent, and that's some great advice for our listeners that want to bet some UFC here. Oh, man, can't wait for this fight. This could be McGregor fight. I've had that circled for a pretty long time now, my man. And if you guys want any more information on these fights, Brian does a great job at his Games Galore podcast. Should be released on Thursday, I believe, Brian.
Yep. New one tomorrow. Got Gamlu as a guest to talk UFC, and Dave Smoking Cokin to talk football.
That's awesome, my man. If you guys have any questions for Brian, please tweet him at Vegas B Edwards. Thanks a lot, my man. Enjoy the fights this weekend. Enjoy the games. Hope you win some money.
Yeah, thanks a bunch for having me. Appreciate it, and have a good one, my man. Hopefully the Badgers and the Gators can keep plugging away and get some W's and hang in their respective division races.
Good luck to the Gators and good luck to the Badgers. Thanks a lot, my man. All right, we have Cub Fan Danny back to break down the NFL Week 5. You can tweet him at Cub Fan Danny. He's doing pretty good this year. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Thanks for having me again.
Oh man, always a pleasure. It's you've been doing pretty good. You were positive again last week, correct?
Yeah, 2-1-1 last week.
Yeah, can't complain for that. I finally eked out a good NFL week myself, when going 6-3 overall. If you count the teaser, so it was nice to start digging myself out of the hole. I'm 13-15 in NFL so far, so not bad, and my voice is going again. Nice, but let's. I'm
sitting 7-4-1, so doing all right myself.
That's awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear some of your takes on these games. So, do you want to go ahead and go first?
Yeah. All right. So, the Broncos are going into New York to play the Jets this week, and right now the line is even, right? So last week the Broncos lost that brutal game on Monday night, man. It was a brutal loss. They had the game. It was sewn up. It was done until Showtime Mahomes took over the fourth quarter and won that game for the Chiefs, right?